It's time for the dialogue. The new Marauders, Part 2. It's getting real. Okay, magical people, Zealman's Wizarding World. Okay, we are not part of the NDA group, which means we get to go into the storyline ahead of time. Now, I have alluded to the conclusion of this story in a thumbnail image for one of my videos quite a while ago. I will show you that image at the end, and you'll understand now that there was a little Easter egg there. So let's head into the storyline. Intro, Hermione. I just saw a Fandible of Sirius in his dog Animagus form. I take it that you decided not to give in to the Unforgivable's demands. Harry, I'm sorry, Hermione, but I just couldn't, in good conscience, let the Unforgivable get their way. Adversaries have proven how dangerous the Calamity is in their hands. We can't risk them unleashing any more darkness upon the world. Hermione, don't apologise. You were in a difficult position and did what you thought was best. In any case, what is done is done. Better we brace ourselves for what might be coming than fret about the past. Harry, I know you're worried, but rest assured I don't intend to tempt the Unforgivable. Auras are personally guarding each of our children, and Hogwarts has been put on high alert. If they do try anything, the kids will be safe. Hermione, I hope you're right, Harry. Okay, so moving on to the Fandible fragments, we have brilliant Padfoot. Harry, Sirius Black came from a long line of pure blood supremacists. He knew he'd be disowned if he spoke out against his family's ideas, but he did it anyway because he knew it was the right thing to do. But that was Sirius, brave almost to a fault, not to mention incredibly loyal. Out of all the Animagi I've known, his form, a black dog, was perhaps the most fitting. He wasn't in my life long, but I couldn't have asked for a better godfather. Did you know that Sirius actually gave Harry his first broom that would fly around the garden about a foot high off the ground? A brilliant young Remus Lupin. I almost said Loomis Rubin. Harry, Remus Lupin told me he was bitten by Fenrir Greyback when he was only 4 years old. He spent his whole life facing discrimination for being a werewolf. Unfortunately, werewolves still face a lot of stigma, but thanks to the Ministry's outreach, the wizarding community is becoming more understanding and accepting. We may not be able to change everyone's minds, but if we can save one person from going through what Lupin did, it's worth it. I mean, people's reservations are kind of slightly understandable, because you don't really want to get bitten by a werewolf. Marauders map. Hermione, I've got a bad feeling, Harry. Your positive Hogwarts has been quiet. Harry, neither my auras nor McGonagall have reported anyone or anything suspicious. I've also been monitoring the Marauders map constantly, and no one unaccounted for has turned up. Hermione, even so, I can't shake this premonition that something awful is about to happen. Normally I hate being wrong, but this time I sincerely hope I am. Prongs. Constance. Harry told me his dad and his dad's friends became Animagi when they were still at Hogwarts. I can't imagine doing such difficult magic so young. I was set on becoming an Animagus too once. I kept the mandrake leaf in my mouth for a month, brewed the potion, and was just waiting for a lightning storm when Sloane Travers told me about a friend of a friend who botched a spell and became half wizard, half naked mole rat. Unsure if my silver teaspoon of dew had not seen sunlight or been touched by human feet for 7 or 6 days, and terrified of becoming a half human, half animal abomination, I never drank the potion. To be honest, if someone told me that, I would have spat out the mandrake leaf laughing. Well, it's probably for the best knowing my luck. I probably would have been saddled with something unremarkable and disappointing like a squirrel. Cloak of Invisibility. Harry, the Cloak of Invisibility has been passed down in my family for generations. My granddad passed it on to my dad to me, and soon I'll pass it on to James. I had originally intended to wait until James left Hogwarts to give it to him, thinking that he'd use it for mischief. But after reflecting on how my dad and I used the cloak, well, I realised using it to make trouble at Hogwarts is also a sort of family tradition. Oh dear. Bet McGonagall love that. Mysterious note. First piece. Constance. Harry, there was a piece of a note attached to that last Fandible. I think it's a remnant from the Unforgivable surge that got absorbed into yours. Harry, seems likely considering that I didn't send it. And the same thing happened when I intercepted the informant's surge. Constance, I wonder if it's a message for us. Harry, there's only one way to find out. We have to recover the rest of this note. And quickly, it's imperative we find out what it says. Fifth piece. Constance. Our assumptions were right, Harry. The Unforgivable note is addressed to us. Well, to you and Hermione. We don't have all the pieces yet, but what we have put together, well, you should probably read it for yourself. Harry, we're sorry you decided to disregard our suggestion to stop manipulating the Calamity. Unfortunately, we had no choice but to take action. Had no choice, but that implies they've already retaliated. Constance, have we received an owl from McGonagall lately? Constance, come to think of it, no. And she's been so diligent sending her reports up until now. You don't suppose... Harry, I need to get to Hogwarts now. Final piece. Actually, why does Harry have the map? Surely McGonagall should have the map to help her, see what's going on around the castle, because Harry would have to see something on the map, then send an owl, which would take a while to get there. It's a bit, just give McGonagall the map. Or James. Anyway, final piece. Hermione. Harry, thank Merlin you're back. How are the kids? Are they safe? Harry, they're fine. McGonagall, on the other hand, was rather startled when I came barging into her office, wand at the ready. Apparently things have been quiet at Hogwarts. Her owl was just delayed by some foul weather. But Hermione, that's a relief, isn't it? Though this news does raise an important question. If our kids weren't the Unforgivable's targets, what or who is? Constance, I think I may have the answer to that. We finished putting together the rest of the Unforgivable's note. They mention stopping by Weasley's Wizard of Wheezes and the offices of the Daily Prophet, which probably means, Harry, the bit about Hogwarts and lessons were just to misdirect us. Their actual targets were Ron and Ginny. I have pictures in my mind of Lynette losing her mind right now. The end dialogue. Constance, I heard Ginny was attacked. Is she alright? What happened? Harry, exhausted and banged up, but the healers say she'll be fine. Her attacker used Polyjuice Potion to disguise themselves as her editor-in-chief. She works for Daily Prophet, writing for the sports section. Thankfully, she noticed his behaviour was off. The imposter got away, but if Ginny hadn't become suspicious, the outcome could be much worse. What about Ron? Is he alright? Can I talk to him? Constance, Harry, Ron is... he was... Hermione, Ron's missing, Harry. I've searched everywhere. The Unforgivable have taken him. Ta-da! Oh, I've been sitting on this secret for so long. So finally, this thumbnail makes sense. Hopefully to you now. So yeah, that was a little teaser. But yeah. So, shit's gone down. Ron has been taken by the Unforgivable. So this is bad news for our crew. This could, of course, be good news for us, because something has got to break at some point to get Ron back, unless he's going to be missing for months and months and months. Which could happen, which would be a little bit frustrating, but with a bit of luck, we can stop hitting dead ends in the storyline of people being obliviated and not knowing anything, and we'll actually get something interesting happen. Now with lethal adversaries and stuff that could be coming soon, TM, we could start seeing a power escalation between the Unforgivable and Harry and, I was going to say Ron, but not now, Hermione and Constance. We can see an escalation of they do something, then the Unforgivable will retaliate with Barty Crouch, and then they do something, and then they'll retaliate with Bellatrix Lestrange, and then up to Voldemort. As to the pace of that, I don't know how fast that would happen. Probably 16 years. But yeah. Yes, things are definitely heating up. I'm so glad I've been able to let this one out the bag now, because I've been sitting on that revelation for quite a while. If you want to read this dialogue for yourself, check out taskforcetimes.news when the event starts, because I've already seen the stories on there. Thanks to my contact below here for giving me this storyline in advance. So that bombshell, brush up on your spells, get your wands ready. It was a good night.